You're welcome. For those of you just coming in, today we'll be speaking around the German EU blue card visa. We'll also be touching on getting that work sponsorship, particularly that work visa sponsorship. We'll touch a little bit around the tech visas from various parts of the world, but today's focus would be on the German EU blue card visa. Our guest is already in the room, who is going to be sharing from his experience. He'll be sharing with us some tips. He'll be telling us how we can go about it. This session is perfect for beginners because you will learn the things you need to plan and how to plan. This session is perfect for intermediate people in the field of tech. You will learn the things that may be gaps that you may want to start working on. And the session is perfect for highly advanced people, highly skilled people as well, because you will probably be able to learn from the journey of our guest for today. Today, our focus is on getting that work visa sponsorship. We will be looking at a tech talents guide to the German EU blue card visa. Chuka, our guest and coach for today, is already in the room and is really excited to share from his wealth of experience. I must advise and mention that this is not visa advice. This is not legal advice. This is us sharing from our experience. This is us sharing information that we believe that you will find useful. The session will be for about 1 hour, 30 minutes, and it is packed with gifts of information. Also, if you wait till the end, we've got something special for you if you do wait till the end of today's session. This session is fantastic for beginners because you will be able to plan. And this session is fantastic for highly skilled people as well, because you will be able to learn from the journey of our guests in the room. Today, we'll be speaking about a tech talents guide to the German EU blue card visa. That's going to be our topic for today. And just to make sure I'm not speaking to myself, could you pop in the chat if you can see my screen and if you can hear me loud and clear as well? I just want to make sure I'm not speaking to myself. Thank you for joining us. For those of us just coming into the room, we're getting started now. It's a tech talents guide to the German EU blue card visa. And our guest, Chuka, is already in the room to share a lot of details with us. We are in the eMigr8 open day. eMigr8 focuses on the tech-enabled visa pathway to relocation and settlement. For today's session, I'm going to start by just sharing a little bit about what eMigr8 is and what eMigr8 is not as well. And then I'm going to be handing over to our coach for today, who has prepared a lot for us, is going to be sharing a lot of information with us today. eMigr8 focuses on tech-enabled visa opportunities. And so please bear that in mind in terms of listening to our guests also today. We've got a couple of bonuses for today. We'll have a bonus speaking about some tips around getting that work visa sponsorship. We'll be touching on that during this packed edition. We'll talk about a package that we have at eMigr8, the move to the UK in 3 to 6 months. We'll touch on that a little bit. And as I mentioned earlier, if you wait till the end, we've got a gift for everyone that waits till the end of today's session. And so watch out for that as well. Please bear in mind that eMigr8 Open Day, we have a lot of previous eMigr8 Open Day video. These are resources that is fantastic, particularly if you are looking into tech-enabled visa pathways. Many of these videos are available free of charge. Many of these videos are available on our YouTube channel. We've had sessions around the UK Tech Nation visa. We've had sessions around the different US routes, Australia Global Talent. We've had sessions around Canada Startup Visa and several other sessions along that line. We've had a session around 5 tech-enabled routes to relocation in 2022 and several options along those lines as well. Please look out for those videos, watch them, particularly if you're interested in a specific pathway. For today's edition, our focus will be on the German EU blue card visa. Upcoming in eMigr8 Open Day, we have sessions coming up around the UK Startup and Innovator Visa. We have sessions coming up around the UK Tech Nation Visa. In fact, our very next session is going to be on the UK Tech Nation Visa. We have sessions coming up around move to the US as a global talent, looking at the O1 visa and a few other visa types as well. Many eMigr8 Open Day editions are coming up, and we ask that stay glued to the channel, join the community. We have communities on WhatsApp, we have communities on Telegram, YouTube, and so on. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can join the WhatsApp or Telegram community, so you can stay glued to eMigr8 and get as much information as possible. eMigr8 runs a freemium model. We do a lot of things for free, but yes, we do charge a premium for some things as well. But start with the things that you can get for free, obviously. And then you can also see if you need a little bit more help, depending on what it is. eMigr8 has the free offerings and some premium offerings also. eMigr8 focuses on tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. That's what we do at eMigr8. But something we like to share with people is that the visas themselves is just a side effect of an overall objective. What is that objective? The objective is that we help you become globally attractive. We believe that if you are globally attractive, you will have options. You will have options of whether you want to stay in your own country or you want to move to any part of the world that you want to. The reason why that is available at this time in this generation is because of a tech talent scarcity that is all over the world. The world has a major scarcity of tech talent. And so forward-thinking countries all over the world have realized that, if we don't want to lose this global race, then we had better attract the right talents for them to come to our jurisdiction. Let them bring their family, let them bring their innovation, let them bring their talent, let them bring their skill, let them come and work in our jurisdiction. They will pay taxes, they will create employment, they will create innovation, they will create products, they will create jobs, and several other things like that. This is the reason why many of the visa types that we speak about or we've spoken about and we will still speak about, this is why they are available. Many countries all over Europe has either launched a startup visa type or the other. We're speaking about the German blue card visa to the EU blue card visa, actually. And there are several other options as well that are available only if you are highly skilled, only if you are globally attractive. And these are the visa type that eMigr8 focuses on, from the UK Tech Nation visa, which is also called the UK Global Talent Visa. There's also the Australian Global Talent Visa, and there are several of these options. In terms of tech-enabled visa pathways, we focus on two things: either your tech profile, which is going to be the focus of today's session, because your tech profile could actually be your visa, or your tech-enabled business. Usually a startup can also be your visa to many of these countries. As I mentioned, for us, we see the visa itself as a side effect of a bigger objective. So we believe that if you focus on being globally attractive, you would have many options. In terms of eMigr8, what does our service cover? Some people do ask. We do information sessions. This open day is an information session focused on the German EU Blue Card visa. Information sessions, we do general inquiry sessions, we do coaching and handholding, helping people to do the things that they need to do. We do things like preliminary assessment to say, hey, do I already qualify? And if I do already qualify, then there's also the question of, oh, can I have a self-directed roadmap to how I can qualify in the future? Maybe in 1 month, maybe in 2 months, maybe in 3 months, maybe in 1 year, maybe in 2 years. We don't think it is further than 2 years for anybody that is even on level 0, absolute beginner. You have not even started in the field of tech. We don't think any one of these is longer than 2 years if you do everything you need to do at every point in time that you need to do it. You could also say, oh, what I need is a roadmap for my application, because what are they looking for? Will my application, what I want to do, what I want to apply with, what does this work? Do I qualify? For example, with the UK Global Talent Visa, we'll help with reviewing the package for your endorsement. we help reviewing that. We also help with the endorsement review process. You do not have been granted the endorsement and you need help with review. We also help with that. And we also say, talk to us to a large extent. It starts at free, right? You get 10 minutes free, and then you can also get much more free of charge as well. eMigr8 runs a freemium offering. Freemium in the sense that we do some things for free. Most of the things we do for free. And then we do a bunch of things that are premium as well. On the free side, we've got the information and inspiration sessions. We've got eMigr8 community, which, as I mentioned, is on WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, and several other channels. We've got our monthly open days, which happens twice a month at this point. And this is free to members of our community. We've got the introductory videos, several of them focusing on different visa types, focusing on different visa pathways, focusing on pathways that is a direct pathway to settlement, and even some pathways which may be intermediate pathway to say, okay, go down this route, and then after that, you can go to the next route as well. We've got the open consultation sessions. We've got visa-specific office hours, and then we do short inquiry sessions, one-on-one short inquiry sessions as well, which you can book at any point in time. At this point, we are limited to just one short inquiry session per person. So what we advise is that before you book that session, what we advise is that please make absolute use of everything else you can get for free. Make absolute use of the office hours, the open day, open consultation, and several other things that are available along that line, because we are only able to, because of time is money at the end of the day. Because of time, the best we are able to do at this moment is one short inquiry session for free per person. Now, on the premium side, we've got the eMigr8 Circle, which is a premium community. It's a paid community, but it's a premium community as well that is able to help people who are absolutely invested in this journey, and you're interested in also finding other people that are also on the same journey as you. We've got personalized coaching sessions, which are paid. We've got the standard package, eMigr8 Premium, and custom services as well. If you're interested in any one of the eMigr8 services, what you simply need to do is go to beancom.net/eMigr8, and you can fill the form. Once you fill that form, you will get a mail that has a bunch of our resources. We flood you with a lot of resources. Read through that mail. It may take you up to 20 minutes to read it, but there's a lot of resources in there. But then if you're interested in some other services as well, you can go to this other link and you can select the service that you are interested in. We have eMigr8 packages as well, to say, instead of me doing individual sessions and so on, I want a package focused on a specific visa type. And so we've got the move to the UK as a global talent, which is focused on the UK global talent visa, which is also called the Tech Nation visa. We've spoken about this in our open day sessions in the past, and we will still speak about it in our upcoming open days. We've got the move to the UK in 3 to 6 months. Why this is interesting is because even if you're an absolute beginner, never started in the field of tech before, this pathway may be suitable for you. And this pathway focuses on the UK startup visa and the UK innovator visa. For the US, we have moved to the US as a global talent. This one is not beginner friendly, right? But it focuses on the US 01 visa, which is the same one that is for the individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement. If you're interested in any one of these packages, you can let us know, and then we can let you know what the next steps will be. eMigr8 community, as I mentioned, please engage with us on those communities. Some of our communities, we've got some of our coaches on those communities as well that are available to help. You can ask questions on the community, and coaches are able to jump on those questions and answer the question. Other members of the community may also have good insight that may be useful for you. You can share, you can like, you can comment, you can invite people into those communities. These are the links of some of the eMigr8 communities. In addition to eMigr8, Beancom Dev Center, which is the parent company of eMigr8, also has a bunch of other services which we think may be useful for you as members of our audience and members of our community. Starting from the Beancom Global Tech Program. It's a 1 to 2 year program that helps people who want to jump into a career in the field of technology. We are also with 3 key pillars. You are able to learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure in the field of technology, because we understand that a combination of those three are important. You don't want to have learned skills, but then no experience, no exposure. You don't want to have all the experience, but then you don't have the relevant skill and you don't have the relevant exposure. This is a beginner-friendly program. You can start from the beginning of any one of the knowledge tracks that are available in the Bincom Global Tech Program. Also, this is an intermediate level person-friendly program. And the reason we say that is because if you have the skills and you realize that, oh, what I am lacking at this moment is the right experience in my portfolio, in my CV, in my referencing, and also the right exposure, then this is also a fantastic program for you. If you're interested in that, you can go to bincom.net/globaltech. We've also got this particularly for people in the UK. We've got that, but it is a global program. And so you can actually work, or you can go on this program from anywhere in the world, but this is actually focused on people in the UK. We've got a Global Talent, which is a combined program combining some of the different packages that we've got within Bincom Dev Center with tech trainings, individual tech career coaching sessions, plus tech apprenticeship with UK company reference and several other features. The pricing is on your screen, and then you can also apply for that on the bincom.net/globaltech program. It's a 3-month program, and what that does is within that 3 months, it takes you from one stage to the next stage in the field of technology. So it could be from not started at all to beginner, or from beginner to intermediate level, depending on what you have already. Also, for our experts in the room, we've got the Bincom mentoring platform, and we invite you to come mentor on the Bincom mentoring platform. Some may say, how is this related to tech-enabled visa? It's because for some visas like the UK Global Talent Visa, one of the evidence that you can submit is your evidence of mentoring on a structured platform. And so aside from you helping our mentees, aside from you helping other members of our community grow up and build capacity in the field of tech, you're also building references for yourself as a global talent in the field of technology. If you're interested in mentoring on this platform, you can go to that link and you can register as a mentor. We've got the Labs by Bincom, and Labs by Bincom helps you build a product-led digital technology company with a team. It's a 3 to 6 month program, and what we do is that we bring 3 to 10 people who are also interested in building a startup to create a startup from scratch. The startup has to be used, whatever product you build has to be used by real life users. It's a way of you building practical exposure, practical experience, and is an opportunity to improve your career and portfolio as a techie. I'll talk about one more, which is our tech career coaching service. And this helps people who are interested in employment. We are focused at the moment on the UK. However, this is also available globally. It helps you to land your next role faster, particularly roles that come with visa sponsorship, a certificate of sponsorship. It helps you to build the relevant experience in your target country. We help with connection with technical recruiters, tech employment and recruitment services for individuals. I will also say to companies who may be watching us, or founders and so on, that if you're interested in finding tech talent, Bincom is able to help you with that. Back to our tech-enabled visa route. Some people may want to take a screenshot of this slide, because this slide talks about some of the tech-enabled visas that are available. This is not an exhaustive list. The blue card visa that we are speaking about today is not even on this list, for example, right? And it's not an exhaustive list of all visas that are available all over the world. This is just a sample to say, Google each one of these visa type, take a look at the requirement. Some of them may be things that you are interested in the long run. The lowest common denominator, and I'm about to hand over to our guest very shortly, the lowest common denominator is that be globally attractive. We believe that if you are globally attractive, you will have options. And every one of these visa type, yes, they have different requirements. They have different ways you need to package yourself. Some are focused on, oh, where have you worked before? Some are focused on your credentials, and some are focused on your experience, and several others. Some are focused on your startup, not even you yourself. Whichever way, the key point is that if you are globally attractive, you will have options. For us at eMigr8, however, we focus on, as I mentioned, We focus on tech-enabled opportunities. We focus on those that have a pathway to settlement, either a direct pathway or an indirect pathway to settlement. We focus on ones where you can move with your family. We focus on ones where your beginners can start planning for it. And also we discuss many of these opportunities in depth in some of our eMigr8 open days. You can say, oh, I don't yet qualify for this visa. What should I do? What should I be doing now? And what we say you should be doing is that you should be planning. You should be planning. You should be taking action. You should know that, oh, these are the 79 or 999 steps I need to take between now and in the next 3 months, or between now and the next 6 months. You should be planning. Don't just say, oh, I know about this opportunity, and then you don't create a roadmap for yourself. Then you know about this opportunity, you don't strategically plan to say, oh, I want to qualify, right? And then if you already qualify, then what you probably want is guidance, advice, and that's part of the reason why our coach is in the room today, who I'm handing over to in the next 30 seconds. Our coach in the room and is going to be sharing with you his own journey, and is also going to be giving tips around this particular visa type. This is a tech talents guide to the German EU Blue Card visa. Chuka, are you in the room?
Yeah, hey, hi, buddy.
Right. Welcome, Chuka. Over to you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, we see you.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Chukwuka Durugo, and I'm a site reliability engineer, currently in Berlin, Germany. Yeah, thanks again for the opportunity to share the experience so far here. I've actually been in Germany more than a year now. Yeah, basically it was via the tech-enabled route that I actually I'm actually down here on, and I'm basically going to be sharing the visa type that I actually secured to come down here, which is the German EU Blue Card visa. Basically, the German EU Blue Card visa is a German residence permit for work. It is basically issued to non-German or non-EU nationals who basically have a university education and as well will work in a skilled sector in Germany. Highly qualified person in sense that the university degree or you are a holder of a form of diploma that is beyond 3 years, that considers you, or that will make the German government to consider you as highly qualified candidates, and also you are skilled for the particular professions that would issue you for this particular kind of visa category. So who can actually apply for this visa type? I'm going to share different points, different scenarios that will enable you to be able to check that, yeah, you can, based off of if you are able to check all of this different points, checklists, I'll call it. So you definitely must meet this following criteria. Yeah, one, you're a graduate. For the blue card, they require that you are actually a graduate. When I say graduate, not necessarily for university, but a minimum of 3 years or 4 years in an academic sector. And also you have an employment contract of a minimum of 1 year employment contract from any company that is situated in the EU. And your minimum gross salary is it's about 56,000, yeah, 56,400 euros a year. That's the minimum that can qualify you to want to as well apply for this kind of visa category. There is also a reduced minimum gross salary of 43,992 euros, but that only applies to employment or occupational fields like mathematics, computer science, natural sciences, and engineering, even medicine, excluding dentistry. So if you belong to any of this category, like outside of tech, educational field, so like maybe probably mathematics or medicine as well, they can issue you the blue card for a minimum of 43,992 euros gross a year. But other than that, it has to be a minimum annual salary of 56,400 euros in a year by the company from which you have secured that job offer. And also, last but not least, the employment itself should definitely match your qualifications. So if you studied, say, computer science, and you got a job offer probably in marketing or in a field that's unrelated to what you studied in school, it wouldn't give you that. You wouldn't be qualified actually for this visa category. So I'll just do a recap for the conditions. You have to be a graduate in an academic institute, minimum of 3 years. And also you have a job contract, and the job that you have, of course, it matches your qualification. And that particular job has a minimum of 56,400 euros or 43,992 for jobs, for fields related to mathematics, computer science, medicine, engineering. So for this particular blue card visa, like Buddy earlier mentioned, there are actually different multiple kind of visas. Blue card is one type of work permit here in Germany. There is also the generic work permit itself that doesn't fall into this blue card category. It's just a normal work permit, and that's for this particular work permit. You can actually, if you don't, maybe you are not qualified, if you don't meet some of this criteria, like you don't have a degree, you don't have a university degree, and let's say you just only have a secondary school certificates, and but then you are actually skilled, you have learned one or two things in tech that has actually placed you on a pedestal. You can still apply, but then it wouldn't actually qualify you for blue card. You fall into the work category, but it has its own different caveats that I'm going to speak about shortly. And so I'm going to come down to the benefits of the blue card. So part of the benefits of the blue card is that one, if you are married, your spouse can actually join you if you get that visa without any need to, because there's this challenge with the German visa, which is, I believe some of you might actually know about it, which is a language barrier. And so the blue card actually eliminates that requirement. So you wouldn't be needed to learn the German language before you can apply for this visa or come down to Germany. And if you are married as well, that also applies to your spouse. She or he wouldn't be required to learn the German language to join you in Germany. And also the length at which you obtain a resident permit in Germany with an EU blue card is reduced to 3 years or 2 years. So 3 years, like 33 months. 33 months is 2 years and 9 months, or 21 months, which is like 1 year and 9 months. So for 33 months, it is only if you are unable to catch up with the language and you just want to remain at a language skill of A1, which is the barest minimum for the German language. If you learn the German language to A1, you can obtain your resident permit within 33 months of your stay in Germany. But then, if you are able to learn the language so fast to the B1 level, you can obtain a residency within a period of 1 year and 9 months, which is 21 months generally. So you have a faster rate to acquire your residency with a blue card. If you don't really have a blue card, it's going to take you about five years to be able to, with a work permit, to get that residency. So that is another benefit for the blue card. So if you talk about how to get down, I personally didn't follow through how I was able to get down to Germany is via a company. I have actually been working in, okay, let me actually share my story. I have been working in Nigeria for about 4 years. I was working in Nigeria for like 4 years before I moved down here. And I saw the company that I actually applied to. I just checked their career page and saw an opening for the particular role, and I applied, and the interview went on, and yeah, I was able to get through the interview phase, and the company itself was able to apply and hand over me the job contract, and we began the process. And that was how I was able to secure my visa after applying to the company and going through the interview process, and everything went on smoothly. Then they issued me, and I booked an appointment. So you can either do that. Let's say you see a company here in Germany that has a job opening that you are skilled in that particular role. You can apply directly to that company, and then the company as well would interview you. But something you should keep in mind is the company has to be eligible. Basically, the company has to be eligible to bring you over, because they have this database registration for all the companies within Germany, and that tells if at all they are qualified to bring in talent down to the country. So you want to confirm that the company is actually eligible to bring you over. If you are working with an agency, that can kind of like streamline the process for you. And I think Bade can actually give more better insights with eMigr8 and Bincom as a whole to be able to cover for all those. But then if you want to go on it on your own, that's where you have to be careful to check that the company can actually sponsor your relocation. And also after the interview and everything, the company will first apply, right? The company first apply to the German immigration officials that they want to grant an employment to you and give you the labor market approval and all those. So that will be on the company itself here in Germany before you come over. So that process will begin first of all. And when that approval has been given, either the company will hold it for you when you come, or they can mail it down to you however you actually want. But that is on the company's side. On your part, immediately the interview and the employment is actually gotten, you can then go ahead to book the appointment. And of course, you must have received the signed document of your employment and all those, and then you can book your appointments to apply basically for the blue card, the EU blue card visa. The portal, you can actually check. I don't have the link handy, but you can book the appointment from the German immigration website since this is Nigeria, in Nigeria, basically in the Nigerian embassy. They have the link to actually book the appointment, and you have to specify the blue card category. And just the points again to note, you must have actually done the due diligence yourself to check that all of those different points, conditions I earlier stated about meeting those criteria, I've actually checked, because you don't want to actually take about 1 month or so to apply and then go for the interview and discover that you actually don't meet some of those requirements, and it's actually not going to be cool if that happens. So you can check all those yourself to see, okay, the salary is checked, and you, of course, you have a degree, you attended a school for more than 3 years. And also there's something I don't want to actually forget, which is that the school you attended, when trying to confirm that your degree is acceptable, the school in which you attended, the degree you got from that particular school, let's say you studied civil engineering, or you studied pharmacy, whatever degree you got from the school, it has to be comparable with a German degree. So it is either you have actually studied in Germany, maybe you studied here, which even makes it all easy, or if you studied in Nigeria, then you have to do what they call a comparability check to see that your degree is similar to that is acquired here in Germany. And that was what I did. I had to, because I studied computer engineering, and they have this Anabin database. You can actually check it. If you Google Germany Anabin database, they have a list of different institutions, even school. You can select your school, where you schooled, select the country, Nigeria, select the course of study, if it's engineering or whatever. You see your school listed there, and you'll see the degrees in which your school offer. If your degree and your course, maybe engineering, and in engineering, civil engineering, if you see that listed in that database, then that is fine. If you still don't see it listed, what that will mean is that you have to apply for your degree to be recognized, basically, here in Germany. And to actually do that, they will send you, when you go for your appointment, and they discover that your degree is not really recognized, they will send you a link for you to actually apply for a verification. That's part of what I did as well, because when I went for the appointment, my degree was not really recognized here in Germany. And so I had to do the comparability assessment, and what that only means is just you getting your transcripts and you getting your university certificate, and yes, sending it as a mail to the Central Office for Foreign Education here in Germany, and then they will just do a check and then issue you a document to attest the fact that, okay, yeah, this degree is finally recognized here, and you can go ahead with the approval process. So yeah, don't fret if maybe at the course of appointment you check and you don't find your degree. Sometimes for some people that I have seen, actually, they do request them to go and do the verification. For others, there's kind of like some different, but it's always better to be safe. Like I always tell folks, if you are going for the appointment and you see that your degree was not listed in the database, just go ahead and do the verification for your degree and send them your email. I think it's cost about is it about 200 euros thereabout? I can't really remember, but how much in euros? But I know the euro naira value is quite different right now, because as at then I think I paid over I think about 35 or thereabouts. I can't remember, but you have to check what the current price is for doing the verification of your degree, and you take that document as well with you to the German embassy in Nigeria. Either you take it during your appointment, or after the appointment, they will request for you to send the documents to them via email, which you can also do. Also, when applying for the work visa, after you have actually done all of these things, you need to have the German, or rather the work visa fee. It's about 75 euros. I'm not sure the equivalent right now in Nigeria. It's 75 euros that you take along with you to make the payment for it. Also, for the appointment itself, questions that they're going to ask you is generally your life question, I'll just say, basically around what where you studied, where you have worked, and everything around your work history and why you are actually leaving the country, what you are going to do, and where you see yourself maybe in like 5 years' time. I'm not saying like this is the exact question they'll ask you, but is centered around that area. That's centered around those questions, basically. So if you're asking, or you might be wondering, how would you look for a work in Germany, aside from you finding different companies? There are different job portals as well. I explored them. Portals that I explored as well was like in tech. You can check if you're looking for tech-related, software-related jobs. I looked through Stack Overflow. I looked at LinkedIn as well, LinkedIn filter, although I didn't actually get much interview opportunities from LinkedIn. But the most part that I got was from both Stack Overflow and Indeed. Indeed has different sites for different countries. But for Germany, I think it is de.indeed.com. And also there are other links that I can actually share at the course of the presentation on the chat that you can as well use to check for different jobs here in Germany. So I will want to share finally around some points that I'll of course would share with you all to note while actually trying to apply. But before you apply, things you need to know, which is firstly, for the first 2 years, your blue card itself, if you actually finally get the blue card, which is restricted, like I earlier mentioned, to skilled workers, either it was in tech and even non-tech, in as much as the company is willing to pay you that amount and you have the degree itself, and you're actually qualified. So for the first 2 years, you have to actually remain within Germany for the job itself. So your job is actually tied, or rather your stay in Germany is tied to the job. And for the first 2 years, you have to remain within Germany to work under that contract that you have acquired. And also, nationals, basically, if maybe after like 3 months, if maybe you lose the job, kind of, you are required to get another one after like 3 months. So they have like 3 months grace period. If maybe after getting the job and you stay in Germany, you have given like 3 months to get another related job to continue to stay before you actually get the chance to apply for a residence permit. So after your blue card, which is given to you, it has a limit of 4 years. You can stay in Germany for 4 years straight on with your blue card. And after the 4 years, you can still as well renew it. But before that 4 years, like I said, you can obtain your resident permit within 3 years or so. But the caveat there is to have the language requirements, which is like A1 or B1. So after the 4 years, you can renew, or you can decide to change that to a residence permit that can enable you to stay in Germany as long as you want. In EU, countries like Ireland and Denmark, those countries are not eligible for Blue Card itself. So if you get a job from Ireland or Denmark, which is in the EU, they actually have a different kind of visa policy, which I'm not very familiar with, but they are the countries that they don't really consider Blue Card as something that's spanned across the EU. But outside of Ireland and Denmark, any other countries within the EU can issue you a Blue Card. So Blue Card is something that most tech folks try to hits at, because like I mentioned, the benefits around you getting a Blue Card, you bringing your spouse and even your family, forgot to mention, yeah, your family members, they're married with kids, you can as well bring them in without any of those language requirements there. And also for a normal work permit visa, there is that language barrier there. They have to learn before, and even you as well have to know some level of German too for the work permit. And before a company can give you a work permit, or rather before the German government will issue you a work permit that is non-Blue Card related, the company has to prove that there is no one in Germany or EU as a whole that can fill that role. And if they can prove that, yes, they can actually bring you over. But with a Blue Card, all of those stress of proving that, okay, there's not a person is already taken off, because yeah, you've actually proven with your qualification for your degree and also for your skill. The only thing you need to do to position yourself to be able to be a recipient of this is to ensure that, yeah, you are positioned to be attractive to some of these companies that will require you to want to bring you into the country based on both your qualification and your years of experience. And if you have a minimum of, say, 2 years experience in what you are doing in tech, you can actually feel free to start to check out some of these companies that are eligible to bring you into the country. And in terms of checking out for the country I'm applying, one thing that I would want to share or say is you actually check how you present yourself, even from your CV. I've actually been a part of recruiting as well, and I've seen how different folks have been rejected even at the initial phase from how the CV is being structured. And I'll give you an example. If you are actually working in tech, let's assume you are a software developer, and on your CV you have things like your CV is structured in just like a JD. I know this is not a CV gathering, but this is me. I'm just sharing this to let you see how you can best position yourself even at the job application level. Your CV needs to actually show the inputs that you have made at your previous companies or your previous experience itself, beyond just you stating like a job description. Let's assume, like, if you're a software developer and your work is to, let's say you build applications, right? And you write something like, I designed the interface for this. It doesn't really give in the detail to the level of value that the work in which you did contributed to that company itself, compared with someone who didn't just say he designed the interface. He designed the interface for the company's web page. and you took it forward to say like you designed, tested, and built the interface for the company that's made the company's visibility to grow to a certain level of metrics, probably grow by 30%. So you added some detail, and that the person looking at the CV will see the value in which that contribution has actually made. These are things that can actually make whoever reviews that CV to really want to interview you, to actually hear more and place you on a higher pedestal compared to someone who wrote just one string of sentence and that is it. So you want to ensure that as you are listing your experience on your CV, beyond just your qualifications, you actually do the due diligence to share the value and the impact of your work in whatsoever company that you have actually worked in. And that can make each time you submit a CV or you share your cover letter, they'll want to really hear more. And that's the part where you can say you want to really sell yourself. So yeah, in summary, generally around the EU Blue Card, as I shared at first, yeah, you need to see that the company that you are applying to is eligible to bring you over, and of course you have a minimum of 1 year 1 year work contract with the company. So some companies actually give you unlimited work contract. That means you can stay with the company for as long as you want, typically. And there are other companies that hire you on a contract basis, like 2 years. And if a company hires you on a contract basis, that means that the blue card visa that you will get will be only for the duration of that contract. So you want to as well define if at all you want a contract-based job, but the thing is, even if it is a contract-based job and your blue card elapsed within 2 years and you find yourself in the EU, you can always move to another job that actually meets the criteria for the blue card. And it becomes quite easier when you are here compared to applying when you are in Nigeria. It is far, I believe some of you actually know this is far more easier. Yeah, so even if it's 2 years, you can always find a company that will hire you even within Germany here, and your LinkedIn will start buzzing with different job requests from recruiters and all of that. So, but just know that if it is a limited time period in which your job contract is, that is going to be the time frame that your blue card visa will be issued. And if the company renews it, awesome, you can always extend the validity of your blue card as well. Thank you, and I'm very much open to any question that you may have in all of all this. And just know, yeah, it is actually a well sought after visa here in EU. It gives you, I forgot to mention, it gives you access to other EU countries. You can access beyond just Germany. You can go to Spain, you can go to Ireland, and you can go to France, you can go to Croatia, you can go to any of the EU countries without needing to apply for visa with this particular visa. So sure, thank you, Mr. Badi, and yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chuka. This is, I believe that there are so many different questions. I'm seeing questions from everywhere, community and everything. I'll just say to the audience again that if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. We will not have time for the open consultation session in this one because we have a lot to cover in the little time we have left for this session today. I see a question in the chat about the technician package. Today's session, we are focused on the German blue card visa, and we're also going to be touching around getting that work sponsorship that comes with a visa, right? In 2 weeks or in 3 weeks or thereabout, we will be having our next session focused on the UK technician visa. And so if you're interested in that one, you can wait for that open day. We also have videos from past editions for different visa type. The UK startup visa, we have videos from past edition, UK technician visa, German work visa, Australian global talent visa, and several other visa types, all of them tech enabled. We've done different open days, but today's edition is focused on the German blue card visa, and by extension, how to land a job that comes with work sponsorship. And so, fantastic. Thank you so much, Chuka. We really, really appreciate that. And I would just start with this question to say, so would it be a good strategy for some people? Because, I mean, you mentioned around it's easier to get that job if you're already in Germany and so on. Would it be a good strategy for some people to move on a shorter term visa? The blue card visa obviously is highly sought after. So is that a good strategy to start with, or what are your thoughts along that line? Just before you answer, I will also say to the audience, this is not immigration advice. This is not legal advice. This is us just sharing information based on our experience. Chuka, over to you.
Yeah, so in terms of getting the job, not necessarily we can actually get it from Nigeria. Getting it from here is just that you are in a different geography, and most times recruiters try to want to favor, like I just mentioned, some companies will do some work to want to prove to the immigration that there is no EU nationals to give the job to. So sometimes they want to favor the people that are here already, but then we can't actually be here until we actually apply from Nigeria to secure the job. So definitely the jobs are actually there. One thing is, once you are qualified, you have that experience and you have a degree, you just need to be able to position yourself to really sell yourself to some of these companies and make the applications, and definitely you'll be able to secure one of the roles with a German firm.
Fantastic. And for the beginners in the room, the question is, how does one become an SRE? I know you studied engineering. And could you just take them through maybe a bit of your journey? How did you even get into tech? How did you learn tech? Did you do anything infrastructure, DevOps, all of those kind of things? Just a short snippet for somebody who is trying to channel their career along the same path as you have done.
Yeah, sure. So I started off as a software developer. I studied computer engineering, as I mentioned. From school, I actually involved myself with some little projects, but I went to do it large scale after school, teaching people basic programming, and I got opportunity to work with a company and building software products. So from being a software engineer, I got an opportunity to intern I was presented with the opportunity to learn the cloud, learn DevOps, and I can actually intern for the same company. And I was given that route to choose. Do you want to continue with software, or you want to go towards the cloud? And I felt like I had some good knowledge of software, and I needed something a bit more challenging. And I was, okay, let me explore the cloud. And that was when I started learning about DevOps and the DevOps principles and practices. And from there, I interned I did an apprenticeship as a DevOps engineer. And that was when I built up the knowledge within the same company from the work and task in which I got to do. And yeah, that was how I was able to grow in the knowledge of the cloud. And then SRE is just another aspect of DevOps, where we actually both build software products and also ensure about the scalability and availability of the infrastructure in the cloud.
Well, thank you for that. And I'm sure that some of the audience will probably be Googling that now. Somebody says in the questions to say, for those of us who didn't study a tech course in school, I studied pharmacy. What qualification or certification can make us globally attractive in tech? Can you speak a bit into that?
Yeah, so what I always advise folks in that regard is, first, yeah, tech, you first need to stay, you need to actually be convinced and convicted within you, first of all, that yes, you want to learn this thing, right? It's always you need to be very self-motivated around this, and you have to have that passion with it to push and thrive forward to. So what I do advise folks is you can actually look at yourself first. Are you somebody that you are very confident in self-learning? You can do well, very well, if you are actually given something to do all by yourself, or you learn better in a structured environment, in a setting where you need to actually need a coach, need somebody, need a crowd, need a community. Me personally, it was all a self journey majorly. I didn't join any community. Actually, I built myself my knowledge. I went through courses, watched courses, practice and everything. I was consistent, and then I sought out the opportunity for the company and continue from there. And that's because I enjoy staying for long hours in my workstation and working. For some others, actually, they prefer being a part of the community. It's a community where you have different people with different ideas and understanding, and people that can actually motivate you. You feel motivated within a community, so you can join a boot camp. There are different tech boot camps. I know of several of them. I can actually trying to remember this, but basically you can join a tech
I was
boot
waiting for
camp,
you to
right?
remember some. Then I'll just mention that we've got the
I
Beacom
win.
Global Tech program.
Oh
as well.
yeah, actually, Beacom it's actually one.
But there are a few other boot camps
Yeah,
aside from
and
Beacom.
the general idea is you can be a part of a community, a tech community that's actually runs some tech programs, or you can enroll, pay for it. 3 months, 6 months. It's an investment that honestly you won't actually regret it. 3 months, 6 months, go through it, and then you'll see yourself blossoming. And our advice for the tech bootcamp that you join, go for the one that it can actually gives you that opportunity to intern within a company, not an environment where you learn and then there's no way forward. There is actually an opportunity to actually work within a live scenario. They give you live project, real live projects, not just courses itself, not just going to Coursera or Udemy. You go to a structured environment that give you the opportunity to intern within a small company thereabouts. And yeah, like Badi rather mentioned, Beacom Tech program. So you would actually thank yourself later afterwards.
Yeah, but Chika, do you want to mention some other ones you are familiar with in the industry that you can recommend? It's fine.
I'm actually trying to remember. Most of you are familiar with Hacksaw, and I'm trying to remember that internship that is run by Hacksaw, and it's actually a 1-year course. I'm sure I'll remember it and I'll paste it in the chat.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. We can put you on the chat, and if other people in the room, I mean, you can also mention if you know of some. But yes, we do recommend the Beacom Global Tech program because it incorporates.
Yeah, okay, old school. I remember now.
All right.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I just sent it on the chat. Old school.
Oh,
it's at a tech institute as well. I think they run this like a degree. I think it's for like 1 year, and then Beacom and then old school. It's actually a great place to
think about. All right. So let's talk to the intermediate people in the room so they don't feel left behind. In terms of applying for the roles, I mean, one of the things people talk about is the fact that you have to apply for hundreds and hundreds of jobs and all of that before you find that right one. You have to attend tens and 20s of interviews and so on. Could you share a bit around that experience of applying, technical recruiters contacting you probably on LinkedIn, and then interview process and stuff like that you went through in your case?
So in my case, I know, like I said, I worked for like 4 years, and in few cases I had recruiters reached out to me via LinkedIn and scheduled some interviews with me as well. There are just few of them. So most times recruiters, well, they are profiling, they just profile with a minimum years of experience, and when they see how active you are, even in the community. At times, they actually reach out to you in that regard, but it's very low, really. In that I have seen, it's starting very low rate, probably one in 1 or 2 months. Like I got that like one in 3 months thereabout, but I was active. For the most part, you will have to apply a lot. And I was telling you something about the CV. What I discovered in my case was, for the most period that I sent in active applications, my CV was wrong. And I knew it was wrong because I saw someone else's CV, and I saw the way in which he structured it. And even me myself, I was like, if I was a recruiter, I definitely will call this guy for an interview. Compared with mine, I knew that, okay, my CV was actually not detailed enough compared to how it should be. And with the moment I refactored my CV, I discovered that I got more response. I got more reply from the companies for interview compared to how it was previously, because I was able to give in both the details, like I was sharing with you earlier, about the value and the impact of my work within the organization. And within the cover letter itself, I was very clear around both the experience I have and the projects I have actually done, for, even though you don't have to list everything, but probably the top three that is relevant to that particular role. And so the time I did that, I started getting more response from the company to actually interview. But yeah, you have to be patient. It takes some patience. There's no guarantee that the few 1, 2, 3 mails you send to company will actually give you the hits. I would say be patient about it and apply. Apply, and apply. And you actually learn in the process actually what companies will be looking out for you for. And to you, if it's a first time applying, it's just giving you that particular experience. But don't be discouraged. I know it can be frustrating at different times when actually you get that generic email, but just keep applying. And like I said, structure your CV.
Yeah, following that thought, before I go to the question in the chat, and I would say to the audience, if you have questions, please drop in the chat. Also, we still have a bunch of things we'll be talking about during today's edition. We'll talk a bit about our move to the UK in 3 to 6 months. We have a few tips around some of the things you can do in terms of optimizing your profile towards landing that role you're looking for as well. But just following that thought around applying recruitment sites and all of that, I know you mentioned some of them during the call. Do you have any tips around some of these recruitment sites? Are there things that people should know that may be useful to them? And then are there some sites that are maybe OG sites, but then many people don't know about them?
I will actually just paste this on the chat. So this one is specifically for EU, and also, like I mentioned at first, so this website, I think I said them to you. Okay,
so we paste to the rest of
okay, please, you can share it with them. So for those that are online, basically I shared like bond.de, makeitingermany.com, ec.europa.eu, Deutschland.org. These are different sites that you can actually go. And in terms of agencies as well, I know Honeypot. Honeypot is there. I think it's Honeypot. I'm not sure if it's honeypot.org or honeypot.io, but if you Google Honeypot, you'll be able to see them. They actually base recruitment in the EU. Indeed, de.indeed.com as well is a portal that actually is, give you different options that you can actually get from. Actually, I explored Indeed. I explored Stack Overflow. Then there's, I think, I'm not sure if Stack Overflow still have jobs within their list anymore, but I explored that, and I also got directly into the different companies that I saw on LinkedIn, and just check their career pages. So these are strategies that you can actually do to find
Fantastic.
companies.
Yeah. So a couple of
One more thing.
go
One
ahead.
more thing. When you check these companies, you have to confirm, because most times they give they open the role. You have to check that part of the perk there is that they offer the location options as well, because sometimes some company just put in the job offer and there's nothing about relocation. You can use the filter to filter only companies that give you that relocation option and apply to those.
Wow. So we've spoken a bit about the job. Let's speak a bit about the visa before we go into some of the slides that we prepared, and then we'll come back for more questions as well. I'll say to the audience, if you have questions, please drop in the chat. So in terms of the visa application, so from when you got the job offer, I understand it's a signed job offer and all of that. How long did it take from when you got the job offer till you landed in Germany? And then what were some of the key steps along the way, visa application, all of that? How long did each one of those take?
Yeah, in terms of the duration, Germany is quite known for a really long time to give you a visa, even schedule an appointment. But with the blue card category, it makes it very fast. Like me personally, everything from applying for the visa to when I got here was roughly about 1 month. And that is because of the visa category. So blue card visa is quite fast. That is because the German government prioritized the blue card visa compared to any other kind of visa, as it's part of actually what they are looking for. They need skilled immigrants in the country. And so when folks apply for that visa category, they are actually given more priority and they get faster appointment to actually get down here. So the appointments can take if you apply, I think after I applied, this was like 2 weeks after I applied that they responded back to me for the appointment, and everything took like 1 month. It was just me. I think it was just me that delayed a bit for some few things in Nigeria before wanting to leave. So it's actually quite fast, 2 weeks to the time to get an appointment. And when the appointment is done, the next thing is for them to confirm with the German immigration about you and check all your documents that you submit, check even something that can cause a delay a little for your you getting the visa is just a German degree. If all your documents are incomplete, if your degree is not comparable to what they have here in Germany, that's where it can get some lag, because you have to apply and you have to wait for them to send you back the documents of the verification, and then you send it to the embassy, and all those can take a little delay. But then for the max, that can be for about, let's say, 2 months. But ideally, it's actually a fast process for the German blue card visa.
Somebody's asking that for us who are tech experts but didn't study anything related to tech in university, and then this person studied environmental education, but I do tech for a living. What do you think in terms of this profile?
So in that case, yes, you wouldn't actually be qualified for that blue card category, but there is, like I earlier mentioned, the work permits category. You can apply for the work permits category, and the company itself, because they wouldn't mind about your degree, your degree can be different. The company will hire you under the work permits category, so you will be able to come over to Germany, and they will have to prove that there is no other candidate here in Germany that actually can do what you do. I know someone actually is a colleague of mine. Actually, he's a colleague of mine these days, not that he as well got the same thing. He didn't study anything related to tech, but is here in Germany actually, but not with the blue card visa, but work permits. But then he is able to still work. And the only thing there is with work permits, it's about, I think every 2 years you have to renew it, except to blue card, which is 4 years. But the short of it is you can still get a visa, but it's just not going to be the blue card because the degree is not the same as the job itself.
Yeah, and then just to ask this, because I know it's in the mind of some people in the room, are you about Einstein? Is the blue card visa that rare, or is this something that people in the room can build their profile towards? Is this something in the room that people in the room can actually get?
Yes, anyone can actually get it. You don't have to. You don't have to be Albert Einstein. You don't actually have to come out with a first-class degree. The only thing you just need to do is you just need to be a graduate of a secondary. Sorry, a graduate of the university in Nigeria or anywhere at all. And yeah, you have a job that pays you a minimum of 53,000 400 euros, which is actually quite a high pay here. But then there are companies that actually pay that, and your job search lands you to those companies that pay such amount. You are actually good to go with it, and your degree matches the job qualification. You can. There are many, I think over 27,000 blue card has been given in Germany from the last time I checked the statistics. But yeah, it's something that is really common. And there are lots of Nigerians here, actually. There are a lot of, we have a Nigerian community here. We have a lot of folks, but although not all of them have blue card, but then it is very possible for you to get it.
Fantastic. And so we'll be coming back to you, Chuka. We want you to speak directly to many of our different audience in the room. There are three key categories: the beginners in the room, 1 to 2 years experience, or even just beginning. There are intermediate people, 5, 6, 7 years experience in the field of tech. And then there are highly advanced people, experts, 10 years plus experience in the field of tech. We want you to speak to each one of those categories when we come back. Also, we've got people, in different countries of the world who don't yet have a pathway to settlement, right? And they are also looking for, what are the things I should be doing right now? They are not in their own country, but then they don't have a pathway to settlement where they are. And so they are interested in knowing what can they do. And then the final category, which is 5, don't worry, I'll refresh your memory on them, are people who are ready to apply immediately. It seems to see what you're saying for the blue card visa is get the job, then you get the visa, right? But these people are ready to apply immediately. What are some of the things that they can be doing right now? But just before you share that information, I will just share my slide and just talk for just a few minutes around some things we've also prepared during for this session. One of them is something we mentioned at the beginning of this session that we're going to speak about, which is the move to the UK in 3 to 6 months package that eMigr8 is currently running. If you're interested in this package, take down the phone numbers on your screen and you can just simply send a WhatsApp message to any of these numbers. Now, the move to the UK in 3 to 6 months is not even the UK Global Talent Visa. We're not focusing on that. We're also not focusing on the student visa. Instead, this is focusing on the UK startup visa. Now, if you've ever said that, I want to move to the UK and what I think I'm going to use is the student route. This is really popular right now, particularly in some countries in Africa, to say, because on the student route, you get 1 year of your student visa, then you get 2 years of your post-study visa, right? Making a total of 3 years for you to move to the UK with your family, right? Then we're saying to you that if you are in tech or you are interested in tech, there's a different option available to you. With the student visa routes, the total 3 years I just explained does not have a pathway to settlement. You will still need to figure out a pathway to settlement eventually. As such, why don't you consider the UK startup visa route as one of your options? We're saying the student visa route is not the only option. With the UK startup visa route, you get 2 years on the UK startup visa. It cannot be renewed. You get 2 years. Student route, you get 3 years. Startup visa route, you get 2 years, right? With the startup visa route, however, you can work full-time in the UK from day one of you moving to the UK. In addition to that, however, you will need to also spend some time building your startup as part of the time. So you can work full-time and then work part-time in your startup. The startup visa route is cheaper, much cheaper, in fact, than the student visa route if you look at the total cost of the two routes. And this is something that eMigr8 is able to coach and hold you on. The main gate for the startup visa route is the fact that you will need an endorsing body to endorse you and your idea and your business plan. And eMigr8 is able to handhold you along this process. This is the eMigr8 move to the UK in 3 to 6 months. Already in the title, you understand that it would be about 3 months to 6 months in terms of the entire process. But what that gives you is that on day one of getting to the UK, you can work full-time as long as you are also spending considerable time building your startup as well. Your idea obviously has to be viable, scalable, and innovative. And all of these are things that eMigr8 can handhold you on to help you get even into that gate and ensure that you get the visa endorsement for the UK startup visa route. Also, eMigr8 helps with people along the UK Global Talent route and several other routes where we have coaches in the network that can help. But if you're interested in the move to the UK in 3 to 6 months campaign, you can simply send a WhatsApp message to any of these numbers and you will be able to get additional information as well. We did promise also today that we're going to share a few tips around getting that work visa sponsorship around some of the tech visas abroad. Right, during one of our last few open days, and the video is available for you to watch, we spoke a bit around the landing a tech job in the UK ecosystem that comes with visa sponsorship. We gave a lot of tips, and it will interest you to know that some of these tips are actually things that you can translate even to some of the things Chuka has been speaking about for Germany and many other countries of the world as well. We spoke about the fact that be a specialist. You need to be highly skilled. That's the first thing. It's like a requirement. You need to, and then show that you're highly skilled. You need to optimize your profile. Chuka was speaking about that as well. If you remember, he was saying that, oh, he had done some application, then he realized that, oh, he needed to upgrade his profile. You may want to buy LinkedIn Premium. It may help you because it shows you some things and that helps. Right? Also get someone to review your CV. We're coming to another slide where you need to understand that the UK format of CV is different from the German format of CV. I'll say it again. UK CV format is different from German CV format. And so you may want to get someone to even review your CV to say, hey, please take a look at my CV. Does this work? Because for many countries and many companies, they have an applicant tracking system. And the applicant tracking system will simply do an automatic assessment to check if your CV matches what they are looking for in this role. If it doesn't match, then it will not be moved forward. But then that's the automated step. In one of the steps of this place, no human being is looking at your CV. In step 2, in step 3, nobody is looking at your CV. But then from step 4 downwards, the human being is now the one looking at your CV. So you need to optimize your profile, including your CV, right? But we're speaking about CV right now, so that it will pass through the applicant tracking system. But at the same time, when the human being is looking at the CV, they will see that, oh, this person is the right fit for the role that we're applying for. But notice that we didn't say just your CV needs to be optimized, because your entire profile needs to be optimized. A lot of times they are not looking for generalists. They are not looking for you to be UI and UX designer. They are looking for specific. If you're a developer, be a developer. If you're an experienced developer in a certain language, be an experienced developer in that certain language. Show that first. At higher stages, yes, it may be useful for you to show that, oh, aside from this expertise that I have other expertise as well. I was speaking over the weekend to some people, and I said that we have this idiosyncrasy in Bincom to say, know something about everything, but then you must know everything about something. And that is important in this as well. You need to be that specialist, knowing everything about something, to say, okay, fine, I'm highly targeted. This is the role I am looking for at this point in time. I was saying earlier, the UK version of CV is different from the German version of CV, starting with the style, even the way you write, right? In terms of communication and all of that, what they are expecting in a certain country, in some cases are different from what they're expecting in other countries as well. Some countries are expecting 2-page CV. If it's longer than that, then you don't know what you are doing. Countries are expecting longer formats of CV, and this would also interest you. Some companies expect you to put, some countries, they expect you to put your picture on your CV, right? And some countries don't. The point we're making is that ensure that whatever country you are targeting, German is what we've spoken about most of today, but then UK is also something we spoke about not too long ago on the eMigr8 Open Day. Ensure that your CV meets that specific format as well. Coming back to you, Chuka, but just to mention to people, we did say that if you waited till the end of this open day, we had something special for you. And that something special is the fact that normally what we do is that you only qualify for one personalized free short inquiry session within the eMigr8 community. But because you were on this open day till the end, you are able to get a second personalized short inquiry session as well with any one of the eMigr8 coaches. What that means is that aside from the one you get for everybody, you also can get a second one. You just need to say to the admin within the eMigr8 community that, oh, I was part of a full open day session, and then you automatically get a second personalized coaching session free of charge available to you as well for waiting to the end of this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. So Chuka, we're back to you, and we're saying that, oh, we've got different types of people in the room, about 5 of them. So I'll just take them one by one to say what's your advice to them. So let me start with the beginners in the room. Absolute beginner, 0 years experience, 1 year experience. They're just building their career. What should they be doing now? What is your advice?
I would say join a community, be an active member of a community. Basically, I want to just default to the fact that you basically would grow within a community. If you want to actually do a self-learning, well, great. But it's actually great to be a part of a community because you get different perspectives and different ideas. So community, like we mentioned, the Become Global Tech, Old School, it's also part of like a boot camp system where you are posed with challenges to kind of like stretch your capacity and make you familiar with most of the different technologies that are, because technologies are always changing rapidly every day, and you wouldn't know some of these things except you are really out. If you are an introvert, it's actually even be a little worse, because if you be all by yourself and you hardly get much information. So connect with people, connect with the tech community, and build yourself in that system.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then we'll go straight to the intermediate people in the room. 3 years, 5 years experience. They've done stuff, intermediate level developer, trying to become seniors, but then they are also interested in this pathway. They've done enough, but they are looking to do more. What should they be doing at this point?
I would say you get your work out there as well, because most times your work speaks for you. You actually know stuff. You know what to do very well. Get it out. You have projects, push it out. If you are active on LinkedIn, write articles, make publication, build some projects. If you have since this is tech, and if you are a software developer, be active. Let your GitHub be active. Actually, make commits. Have some things going on your GitHub, because sometimes people want to check something about you, right? And so they go to your GitHub profile and there is basically no activity happening. It just feels like, okay, you are actually not very active in the tech space. And that's for software engineers. If you are probably a technical writer, or you are a product manager, or it's something, you get yourself active in that space. Technical writer, write more articles, publish things on your LinkedIn itself. Let it be a little active so people get to see what you are doing. But that is you selling yourself out so that you are not restricted within a box. And it's just like you know what you can do only by yourself. It's just for people to as well tell of you, and they can actually see your work. Then go ahead and apply as well. Apply to join most of the job platforms, and as well be active in the application process while you are building others.
Yeah, I would just mention that you may have to apply hundreds and hundreds of times. Do not get discouraged. Right, we are building an application to help with that. It's called AutoJobServe. You can take a look at that and search for that as well. Also, do not ignore the recruitment portal of the organization itself. So yes, you can look at the aggregators, but don't also ignore the recruitment portal of the actual organization, because sometimes not every role gets posted on the aggregator site. Yeah, so Chuka, we've talked to 2 categories. We have 3 more to go, right? What about the advanced people? 10 plus years experience, CTO of organization, CIO of microfinance bank. We've got all sorts of highly experienced tech people in the room as well, or watching us as well. What would you advise them?
Also, I want to, I think this applies to this category as well. So all I said in the previous category, plus the German government also have this category of visa called the job seekers visa. And so if you are that experienced and advanced, you can apply as well for the job seeker visa, since you already have more than 5 years of experience, because that is basically what it requires, a minimum of 5 years experience, and you'll be given the visa to come and check for a job here. I think the visa has a duration for about 6 months. And so you'll be given that visa to come down here. And we were earlier mentioning about the ease of getting openings with respect to geographical location. So if you actually come down here with that kind of visa, the possibility you stand a higher chance, especially when you just probably change your location on your LinkedIn that you're actually in Germany. It gives you much more visibility it opens your profile to the recruiting system down here, and you tend to actually get much better offers. So yeah, you can apply to the job seeker visa if you are in that category. And also, yeah, you can be active as well, proactive in the application process, and join a platform like VanHack. VanHack, I'll just share the link here. It's also a tech enable. It's a platform where they actually get tech talent, and they get them highly skilled. They connect you with really top-notch companies across both Canada and even EU. So you can actually join that platform, share your profile and everything as well, make yourself visible, and that will give you a really great chance towards even coming down. And you actually stand a better chance, by the way, with that kind of experience. And yeah, just check that your CV as well match everything, and you position yourself to sell yourself.
Yeah, and that segues into the next category, or you could say, and that's category of people, they've moved from their own country on some sort of intermediate level visa. So UK startup visa, UK student visa, the German job seeker visa, all sorts of visas that does not have a pathway to settlement. And what they are looking for at this point is a pathway to settlement. Do you have any additional advice for them? I mean, you've spoken a bit to some of them already, but any additional advice to their category?
So settlement, like to getting a resident permit down here?
Yes, that's correct. Or getting on a visa type that leads to a settlement.
Yeah, so the visa category that leads you to even a work visa as well can get you that resident permit even here in Germany. If you have stayed maybe in the EU region, let's assume you have citizenship with US, Australia, I think New Zealand, all of those doesn't really require you to take visa down to Germany or any of the EU. You can actually come down here and apply for like the EU blue card visa or the work permit visa that can actually give you that residency. So the ideal thing is to get the work permit visa that you can eventually translate after like 1 year and 9 months if you have the German language requirements of up to B1 level, or you wait for about 3 years, 2 years and 9 months if you have the German language requirements of the A1 level. And within those periods, you have actually actively worked in Germany for that period before getting that settlement permit. And so either ways, what you need to do is to find a route to either secure a work permit or this EU blue card. EU blue card, of course, if you are highly skilled and qualified, you have a degree and you have that job role that's paying you more than 53,000 euros, then you secure the blue card that can secure your permit for that short duration, or you get the normal work permit if you don't have a degree that is similar to your qualification, and you can just hold on for about 5 years, and then after 5 years that can actually give you that work permit. But there's basically no other different routes. It has to, you also must have contributed to the German government, both paying taxes and social security for at least a minimum of 1 year 9 months or 2 years 9 months, and then you can actually get that residence permit. So yeah, basically you just walk through those routes and that should give you that. There is a possibility of, I think there is this work, I'm not very much sure about it because it's very, it's not really talked about. That's, you're a business owner and you want to come in and provide job, let's open a company here in Germany. But I don't want to speak much to that, but that is another route, but I really have limited knowledge on that part.
Yeah, I will just remind the audience, it's not immigration advice, it's not legal advice, it's just us sharing our experience. Chuka, you'll be speaking to the last audience, which are people ready to apply, and then also sharing your final word. Apologies, we've gone over time, but I'll just do a run through again to say to the audience, this is eMigr8 Open Day. It's organized by eMigr8, and eMigr8 focuses on you becoming globally attractive. We say we are your tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. We focus on tech-enabled visa opportunities only. Our services cover a bunch of things. Many of the things we do are for free, but then we do have some premium offerings as well. Take advantage of our free offering to start with, and then obviously you also find, in case you need it, right? Not everybody needs our premium offerings, right? With the free offering, some of these are on the screen. We've got video recording from all the different open days that we've done in the past, many different visa types that we focused on in the past. eMigr8 also have packages, so if you're interested in a specific package, you can also let us know, and then we can give you more details, more information, more resources around some of these packages as well, including the move to the UK as a global talent, move to UK in 3 to 6 months. I spoke a bit about this particular package today, and several other packages that exist as well. eMigr8 has the community. You've been on this session. The WhatsApp community is our most active community at the moment. It's a semi-private community. So if you're interested in that, do let us know and we may be able to add you to the WhatsApp community. But then you can also join all the other communities as well. That's where you start from. There's a Telegram link on the screen, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all. Engage with those communities, and then we're able to then say, oh, fine, come join the WhatsApp community. We have a few other services that we offer within Bincom, the Bincom Global Tech Program. Chuka spoke about the bootcamp approach to things. Chuka spoke about the fact that those kinds of things may help. And this is one of the programs that we're doing at the moment, particularly for people in the UK, but it's available all over the world. Bincom.net/global-tech is where you need to go for you to be able to register for this. For the highly experienced people in the room, we are looking for you as mentor, and we provide a structured platform for you to mentor. And this helps your application process for things like the UK Technician Visa that want to see you mentoring in a structured platform as part of your evidence of building the tech ecosystem. Labs by Bincom helps you to build a startup, product-led digital technology with a team. 3 to 6 months is the program. You get group with a team of 3 to 10 people, and then you build a startup from scratch. It helps with practical experience and so on. And we've got the tech career coaching as well. Our tech career coaching services will help with landing that job that comes with a visa sponsorship. We focus at the moment on the UK, but we do have coaches in Europe as well that are able to help with you to land your next role faster, particularly roles that come with visa sponsorship. Or if you already have a visa sponsorship, or you already have a visa that allows you to work in the UK, this is also very useful for you to be able to land that role faster at the right level, building the right relevant experience in your target country. Some of the visas that are available are on the screen, and we say that the common denominator is be globally attractive, because if you are globally attractive, you will have options. Chuka, final words, and then people that are ready to apply, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I saw a question around if you have a professional certificates and on tech. Professional certificates actually doesn't count for the blue card. That is only for maybe the company itself. If probably they require you to have a professional certification in that role before they employ you, that is just on your job, but it doesn't really guarantee you for the blue card requirement. So it's not a degree, but those are just professional certificates for you to fulfill your job, or it can be your own personal knowledge and idea. And also, final thoughts. If you're ready, you have a minimum of 5 years of experience within your field of study. Say you studied engineering and you have been in engineering for a minimum of 5 years, working somewhere, and you can actually apply for the job seeker visa. Go ahead and apply for it. I'm not quite sure about the link, but you can just Google job seeker visa Germany, and you'll be able to see, and you make appointments with the German embassy in Lagos and to secure that kind of like appointment, and you'll be given that visa to come down to Germany and look for work within a period of 6 months. Then when you get that job, you translate that visa to a work permit or a long stay visa that will enable you to stay and work here. And also, yeah, go ahead and apply if you feel like you have met the criteria for experience and knowledge. You have what it takes. Feel free to apply to all of the lists, all of the platforms in which I shared with you on the chat, and I believe for those online, it's going to be shared on the description or so. But go ahead and apply to these different platforms and be sure to ensure that your CV is all ready. This company is actually Germany is even trying to, on a monthly basis, we'll see it on the news, how they try to refine the policy to bring in skilled immigrants to the economy. So they are very open towards immigration from anywhere, actually, Nigeria or wherever you actually are. So be very open towards applying to any of the different roles that you see is it fits into the requirements for giving you the blue card visa. And yeah, those that are aspiring, like I earlier mentioned, you are not in tech and you are looking at switching down to tech. Join one of the bootcamp programs. Join the Bincom Tech program. Join one of the old school, and anywhere you find yourself, so as to actually incubate your knowledge, incubate yourself in the knowledge of tech, especially because it's actually a wide gap from where you are coming from and what you want to really learn. So you actually need that setting. Get yourself connected to the system and interact with people all the more. Be consistent. If you are consistent on a daily basis and you just set that goal for yourself 3 months and stay consistently every day practicing and building one thing. But I always say, when you are actually learning and maybe you are taking a course, because most times people take online courses, online courses is great, but it has this way to just keep you in a niche and you get lost in different things if you don't count yourself to really, really do some projects outside what they have taught you in the online course. That is what a boot camp or a controlled environment does for you by both teaching you and giving you that enable a platform to, okay, put what you have learned into practice, work in a group, come up with a project and do it by yourself, because that will solidify the learning itself. Online courses will only take you on their own path and you are just doing as they are telling you. But then, and when you finish, you pat yourself on the back, you have finished an online course, but that is not really ideal. It doesn't give you the knowledge you actually get. You need to put that into a project. So if you go online and you learned how to do something based on what they showed you online, translate it to something else, right? And apply that knowledge to build a different idea that you may have. And when you build that, then you can start patting yourself on the back that, okay, you are actually progressing. But don't pat yourself on the back after you finish a course. No, you just did what they did. But you can pat yourself on the back a little when you know that you have translated that idea into something different that you came up with and you have actually fulfilled it. Do more of those. And if you do about 3 projects, honestly, you have some good foundation or some good starts towards, joining the big players in the game. But yeah, when you do that, then get your application running, join Van Hack, join all of these platforms, and see you in Germany.
Fantastic. And I would just say build real life projects that real life users are using. Don't build practice projects. And thank you so much, Chuka, for this. This is a lot of information. I believe that some people would actually go back and watch this again. We'll put some of the links that he has shared. We'll put them. I'm making that promise here. Hopefully the people in charge will make sure it happens. But all the links that have been shared, we'll ensure that it's put in the video description for this video. The people that are supposed to do that, hopefully they will do it. Thank you so much, Chuka, for helping us with this information. I'll just say to the audience as well that please take action. He has said a lot of things, whichever category that you may fall. He has said a lot of things. Many of these things also translate to many of the other visa types that we speak about on in eMigr8, the UK Technician Visa, and several others as well. They also translate. But our next edition of the eMigr8 Open Day will be focusing on the UK Technician Visa, which is also the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. We'll be speaking with a data scientist, a female data scientist. We'll be speaking with her and she will be sharing about her journey and also some tips for people that are applying for that specific visa type. For the one we've discussed today, there are several things we've discussed that can help, that is available to you. The community is available to you. Our tech career coaching is available to you. The Bincom Global Tech Program is available to you. And several other services along that line are available to you. And many of these things are actually available to you free of charge. Also, remember I mentioned that because you waited till the end of this edition or you've watched this video till the end, you actually get a second free one-to-one personalized coaching, personalized short inquiry session with one of the coaches on the eMigr8 platform. That being said, thank you so much for being with us today. Chuka, we really appreciate you. And thank you for joining us and sharing your knowledge. Thank you also to the audience. Thank you for being here. And we hope this was extremely useful for you. If it was, please tweet about it, send a tweet to someone, send a video to someone, send some information to someone to say, oh, I found out about this and this and this and this. But most importantly, take action. Thank you and have a lovely rest of